Hi, you're watching Wall Street Confidential. Deborah Borchardt here. I'm talking to Jim Cramer, and we're talking about autos.
Right.
Are autos the next on the hit list?
Well, remember, we just saved the banking system. We know what's going to happen now. The banks are not going to go away. Mm-hmm. So then the question is, if you take off that Great Depression scenario, there were two parts of the Great Depression. Mm-hmm. The banks all failed and unemployment skyrocketed.
Right. If
you take off the banks all failed segment, now you got to focus on the unemployment not skyrocketing segment. Mm-hmm. And the crucial thing to making sure the unemployment doesn't skyrocket is to save GM, Ford, Chrysler. Now, we're in an amazing moment where we're letting any merger happen. I mean, for years, our philosophy had been, don't let all the banks merge, and then we just decided to waive that whole philosophy.
Well, there was very much of an antitrust philosophy.
Right. Now there's no antitrust because we're in crisis. And so this is a great moment for GM, Ford, and Chrysler to combine into one major American car company. Now, there'll be a lot of resistance to that, mostly at the level of the unions, because the number of job losses would be horrible. But we have to force two of these companies to combine. Why do we have to force them? Because it's either that or we take big equity stakes in them. And maybe that's what we do. But at a certain point, we've got to be careful taking big equity stakes in losers. I mean, one of the things that's happened is that by choosing winners, which is what Paulson didn't want to do, but by choosing winners in the banking system, we now have made things safe. Choosing a winner in autos doesn't necessarily ensure that they're safe because you got to sell product, you have the right cars. Yeah. It's not like banking. Banking is just literally, look, if you have 25 billion, you're doing better than someone who doesn't have 25 billion. So I think that the banking system is easier to fix than the auto system.
It's more apples to apples, whereas cars...
But, this is what's got to be solved, because if we do not get double-digit unemployment off the table, then we still have a severe recession. We've taken off the Great Depression. We have not taken off the severe recession. The severe recession will be caused by the closing of one of these auto companies.
Well, and historically, we did go out and help Chrysler and then backed away from it, and when we were done, we pushed it back.
That worked. I think the difference is that there's only, at that point it was only Chrysler.
It was just one, and now we've got
Ford, GM, and Chrysler, and that's an untenable situation.
Do you think, you mentioned about the unions, do you think there's also an emotional issue with these companies combining, that you...
Yeah, but what we've seen is that, with the destruction of Lehman and Bear and AIG and Fannie and Freddie, that there's nothing that won't be changed here. Now, we went so far away from regulation that now we have to have government intervention in every form of the economy if we're going to get past this.
Thanks, Jim. You don't want to miss our investor conference. Seating is limited. Email us now at conference@thestreet.com. Spend the day with Jim and his team. Get Cramer's 2009 stock picks before anyone else. Now is the time to plan for next year. It's October 25th here in New York. We're on your side and our experts are here to help you. Conference@thestreet.com.